When you think of the Intercontinental Champion, you think of a lot of names. Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, Randy Savage, Gunther, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, and many, many more. This champion is one of the greatest champions in the WWE. It's probably the second most important behind the actual WWE champion. So let's get right into it. Who belongs to the Intercontinental Champion Mount Rushmore? Number 4 is The Miz. And you're thinking to yourself, The Miz? Why The Miz? Miz as IC champion is very underrated. Yes, he had his moments. And so, you remember like when he was a champion with like Damien Mizdow? That was kind of funny. But in a serious light, 2016 2018 Miz was the Intercontinental Champion. He was the guy. He was one of the most important people in the business. And like, because he brought this aura, his promo skills, his mic work, his ability to make the story feel so important. Sometimes you can argue he was the bigger champion than the WWE champion. I mean, hello. And on top of that, 597 days in total, 8 reigns as IC champion. Like, some of his best matches came from being Intercontinental champion. Example, all his Dolph Ziggler matches, Dolph Ziggler's career for title match, was one of the best matches I've gotten to witness live. Well, not in person, but live when it was happening. I don't have money. But it was still a great moment. The Miz was really one of the very few bright spots of 2016-2018, like I said. And I genuinely believe that he just deserves this credibility. Also, he beat Roman Reigns, and during the time when Roman Reigns won the belt, and he took it as a demotion, and like no one wanted to see Roman on TV. So the Miz beat him, the crowd went crazy. Even though Miz was a heel, the people was like, "Oh, thank God, Roman's not champion." Then his feud with Dean Ambrose was really good. I mean, this is also one of the last few good things he did with Dean too, but that's a different story for a different day, in my humble opinion. But also, he just deserves it, because like I said, he was one of the few bright spots during a dark era with WWE. He made the belt feel super important. His mic skills are top notch. Everything he did was top notch, and he deserves his thumbs up. He deserves his flowers. So I believe that The Miz is number 4 on the Mount Rushmore for the Intercontinental Champion. Chris Jericho is number 3, and a lot of people they go, he was overrated. Yes, as 9-time Intercontinental Champion, his longest reign was only 110 days, and his total days was 318. But we're also forgetting he started most of them reigns in the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was really, and I mean really bad about hot potato championships. I mean, let's keep in mind how Kane beat Steve Austin for the WWE Championship, and like literally the next night on Raw, Austin won it back from him. So I mean, you can't be too surprised. Also, on top of that, he had some pretty cool moments with the belt, in my opinion. His fighting for the belt and the match against Ray at Bash in 2009. His iconic ladder match 2001 with Benoit was a really step point of how to make a ladder match, in my opinion. Like, yes, Chris Benoit fucking sucks as a human being, screw the guy, but that match was beautiful. I didn't really see it. I went back to rewatch it to talk about it on this video, and wow. Like, just wow, that's all I'm gonna say. And his moments with China. I love China. People like to say China's overrated, but I have a special place for China in my heart. I love China. And also, winning the belt 9 times is pretty cool. I mean, the closest we got to that is The Miz. But how Miz is looking, I don't think he'll ever beat that record or even tie it at this point. So I think Jericho's record is still pretty safe. I hope. I think. I wouldn't mind The Miz beating it, but that's about where the line draws. Anywho, also another thing about Chris Jericho, he had beautiful matchups. His matches with Benoit, Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, Triple H, RVD, Edge, and many others. Like, he put on some class, like his Benoit and Kurt like series with the 2 out of 3 falls was phenomenal stuff. Like, genuinely, some of the best matches during the Attitude Era in the early 2000s of moving out of the Attitude Era, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, I think Jericho deserves the number 3 spot. What made the Macho Man number 2 for me is that the Macho Man really set the bar way too high for the Intercontinental Championship. Where you go, how? Now, it ain't Shady Ricky Dragon Steamboat, because Ricky is a legend himself. But Macho Man was the second biggest guy in the company, right behind Hulk Hogan. And being neck and neck with someone like Hulk Hogan, especially during the 80s, is a big thing to flex about. And also, Macho Man was a better wrestler than Hulk Hogan. And you can even say it better on the mic, but that's a different story for a different thing. I think he's better on the mic, and I feel like most people do, but whatever. So you have this guy who can wrestle really great, who can has a great character, great promo skills, has a beautiful manager, Miss Elizabeth. But we can't give him the championship because the children love Hulk Hogan. Well, what do? Intercontinental champion. And he made that belt feel so important. 413 days as his only reign as champion. Then, to top it off of everything I just said and his accomplishment as champion, he delivers one of the greatest matches of all their time at WrestleMania with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. An iconic match that every wrestling fan has to see once. I don't care if you hate WWE with every bone in your body. A great match. And a match that aged like fine wine, to be honest. Like, the match has everything. And it really shows you how great Randy and Ricky were in the ring. Like, genuinely. It's one of my favorite matches, personally. And that just shows how great Randy was. And also give credit to Ricky as well. But we're not talking about Ricky. But Randy Macho Man Savage is just a great character and everything. I mean, honestly, Randy deserved more runs with the belt and more runs as the champion. Like, Randy was just that guy. And honestly, he's one of the few old Intercontinental champions that still holds his own day. Yes, I gave the spot to like Bret or Mr. Perfect. But I don't know, something about Macho Man with me. Maybe it's biased, but something about Macho Man. When Gunther became Intercontinental Champion, no one cared. After the Sammy, Shinsuke, and Ricochet reign, his belt has been dead in the water for about 2-3 years. No one gave a shit. People on Twitter and TikTok were like, maybe we should bring out another belt. Maybe we should just scrap this belt. Maybe like, no one cared. Gunther, who was a no-name for most casual fans, had to take this belt to a new height. But no one saw this guy. Listen, I've been a fan of Walter, Gunther, whatever we used to call him, for a few years before his WWE main roster. This is something I didn't even see myself. This man, at one time, had Seth Rollins as world champion and Roman as world champion, and people had him higher than them. Damian Priest 2 times came and was like, hey, maybe I should cash in on you, Gunther, since your belt's so big and prestigious and everything. Like, you were taking Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, to the greatest of our generation, and this guy's Intercontinental champion is higher than both of them as world champion. And that's not even counting the matches and the storylines. The story with Miz trying to prove that he's the greatest Intercontinental champion, and he couldn't do it. And you had him against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, 2 of the biggest names of the WWE, were fighting their lives to get this belt, and they couldn't beat this man. His match versus like Rey Mysterio and Matt Riddle, all solid to great matches. Like, even this Matt Riddle match, like I said, was a pretty okay match, was still better than most matches. Like, he was out here putting up LeBron, Michael, Kobe Bryant numbers, all in that order. Like, he was nothing. It's champion. And he lost to Sami Zayn. And now Sami is one of the most important people on Raw. And now if Braun Breaker wins, Braun is going to be just as high as Sami was. Like, Gunther losing his belt didn't harm him because that's how high people would see him as. Now everyone's like, oh, yeah, he's winning at SummerSlam. Everyone's like, yeah, he's winning at SummerSlam. Like, 666 days as Intercontinental Champion. The longest champion in history. Every other person he knocks down. Bret, Stone Cold, RVD, Triple H, Macho Man, Shawn Michaels, The Miz, Jericho. Like, all these greats it's like, it's nowhere close. It's like nowhere close. Like, there's no words to describe how far the gap is between number 1 and number 2. Like, it's like a Grand Canyon, my guy. And that's insane to say. It isn't glazing. It's just the truth. So acknowledge your ring general. Gunther is the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time. Like always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe for more. I don't know what I'm going to do next for Mount Rushmores. Let me know down in the comments below. And I'll see y'all in the next one.